you so much for
So,
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, friends. Good morning to you all. Welcome to Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center online, directly from California to the world. We are so excited that we are here together as a family, as the Bezerra Spiritual Healing family, a Jesus family, to talk about Spiritism, to learn, to evolve. And I got it. Thank you so much. And before I start talking about Bezerra Spiritual Healing and announcements, and we have a special guest today, I would like to invite Tanya, our dear sister Tanya, to set the tone of our meeting by saying a opening prayer for us, Tanya. Thank you.
thank you. I just start today with this beautiful message uh, of a child of God from Divaldo and Joanna. Child of God. Many different concepts to explain God have been formulated over the years. However complex, such definitions have been unable to express the greatness of the Creator. Only Jesus was able to define God with precision in a simple, rational, and emotional language, naming him the Father, a word which fills in the gap found in other definitions and references. God is the Creator, Father, the divine progenitor, the uncaused cause of all beings and all things. You are a child of God, a God whose love flows the universe, and his presence is at the very core of your being. Therefore, fear nothing, do not worry. There is a destiny awaiting you, the fullness of life. To reach your goal now or later depends entirely on your free will. Strive to develop your inner self, no matter how hard your path must be, knowing that whatever the situation might be, God is always with you. So let's us in this moment join our soul, embracing each of our soul that you are gathering here today with our mentors, our good spiritual friends. And with them, we embrace our beloved Lord Jesus Christ. Lord Jesus, as we are all gathering here today in your name, we ask your divine blessings, your divine love, your divine guidance. May we all be blessed with the spirit of truth, of the spirit of wisdom, and with the spirit of love that will be enlighten our minds and warm our heart. So our heart and mind can be open for the teachings that our dear sister Vanessa Anseloni is giving to us all today, as she is being used by your divine love and mercy, Lord Jesus. So we, with so much gratitude, with so much love, we ask for your guidance and protection in the opening of the service today. And so be it, and so it is.
So be it, and so it is. Thank you so much, Tanya. And good morning, all children of God from all over the world, from this world and other worlds and other realms. We are excited to be here united. And for those who are new to BSH, Bezerra Spiritual Healing, welcome. I also want to acknowledge the presence of our friends from the East Coast. Everybody's welcome. It's exciting to be all together. There are no barriers, no frontiers, no obstacles among us as we are united online at this time, but also looking forward to a time to be together in person. So, Bezerra Spiritual Healing, we call it BSH. We are a non-denominational spiritist center. It means that we respect all religions and spiritual traditions. So you are welcome to bring your thoughts and questions. And Emmanuel, let's remember Emmanuel, the spiritual mentor of Chico Xavier, who taught us that knowledge and love are the two wings of our spiritual evolution. That's the reason why the services here are divided in two parts. So this first part here, we are going to have a special guest. Today is Vanessa Anseloni, who I will introduce shortly. We'll be speaking about a very important topic, and it's the opportunity for us to learn and to evolve as eternal, infinite spirits here on earth. And the second part is going to be a hands-on healing. We're going to have a pass, and your mentor will be working with our BSH mediums and benefactors to receive the healing energy. And I do want to remind you, if you have forgotten your glass of water or bottle of water, I do invite you to get, because as we are learning and listening to our speakers, we can bless our water for healing purposes. So don't forget that. And I have some announcements, and I will actually share my screen with you, because in here you can see all the activities that Bezerra Spiritual Healing hosts. This is an opportunity. Remember, we are in the school of life, and we are here to learn and to support each other. And there are many opportunities throughout the week for you to join us. So, for example, from Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. PST, we are hosting a daily prayer. It's the same Zoom link, and you can find more information on bshcenter.org, which is our website. During the week, for example, on Tuesday, we also have, in partnership with Divine Light and our dear sister Sunshine, there is Forgiveness as the Way, and the Way to Forgiveness at Divine Light at 6:30 p.m. PST. On Wednesday, two opportunities at 4 p.m. Fraternal Assistance, and at 6:30 p.m. The Psychology of Gratitude. On Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Living in Spring. And of course, today, Sunday, we have two opportunities. The Speech and Healing Passes at 10 a.m. happening right now. And at 5:30 p.m., we are going to have the Workers of the Life Eternal, which is a book study with our dear sister, Sunshine, and her group, Divine Light. In other words, my friends, plenty of opportunities for your own education, for your evolution. And again, you can find a lot of resources like the Kardec Radio and other important information on our website, bshcenter.org. So thank you so much. And all the information is also in that website. And I do appreciate our friends keeping up the website updated. Thank you. Now, the moment that we all have been waiting, it's talking about our special guest who is here to teach us, and we are excited to learn more about Dr. Vanessa Anseloni, who is a PhD, is also a neuroscientist and psychologist. Dr. Anseloni is the founder of the School of Emotion, and she worked for 18 years at the University of Maryland. Fifth generation Spiritist, Dr. Anseloni is the founder and the former president of the Spiritist Society of Baltimore. She also founded and is the president of the Spiritist Society of Virginia and the Spiritist Group of Washington. She's very busy. She's a woman on a mission, and she inspires us. Vanessa Anseloni is a Spiritist medium, fraternal counselor, and coordinates spiritual treatments and workshops in the United States and worldwide. Dr. Anseloni has been translating and coordinating a team of translators of Spiritist books, among them Among Brother of Other Lands and Good News. She is also the co-author of the book The New Generation with Divaldo Franco and the editor-in-chief of the Spiritist magazine. Dr. Anseloni is the founder of Kardec Radio. My friend, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome our dear sister and friend, Dr. Vanessa Anseloni, to BSH here online. Thank you, Dr. Vanessa Anseloni. The stage is yours.
Thank you, friends. Thank you for the opportunity of joining you again. And we're so happy that we are in this new moment on earth to reflect exactly on the current times and what we are here to do. The first thing we would like to think is life is eternal, but this reincarnation is short. 100 years is nothing compared to eternity. And we can be called back home at any time. But we recall now the moment before we reincarnated. Why did we ask to be here? Why were we given this opportunity? Many of us requested opportunities to redeem ourselves, to redress old choices that were not the best choices. And here we are. As spiritists, we are talking to spiritists, people who are studying, who are interested, and it's a very specific scenario. So why did we, of all people, asked to embrace it and to participate in the Spiritist harvest, as Emmanuel used to say? First of all, it's not ours. Second, through it, we are being called to walk a different journey from previous lives when we were psychics and only thought about money and fame. When we were in the churches, and God bless the churches of all sorts, but many of us were there just looking for power and influence and a refuge for our misdeeds in this life. We can no longer go there and use the Christ again for the wrong purposes. We cannot even use the Christ anymore. So we're not the inventors of Spiritism. Kardec was not even its actual founder. He was the codifier. He decoded a code from the spirits and became the editor-in-chief of a compilation that he says it's not his, is of the good spirits. So none of us can claim that any of us have the torch. And I remember in many years ago, more than 20 years ago, I think Tanya probably knows of it through Greg, when he participated in meetings that we had at the Spiritist, American Spiritist Council. Now it's a federation, then it was called the Council. When we were requesting Spiritist meetings in English, he participated, he helped at a time when it was all Portuguese. And people were asking, like, why? Were it not for those times, we wouldn't be here today. We are living at a country where we need to speak it freely in English so people can come and join us. Everybody deserves an opportunity to know of this. Back then, we didn't have the books. Now we have lots of books. We can't complain. And through Kardec Radio and the Spiritist magazine, we have even more, even though some books are not published. Many of the translations of these books that will yet be published are there. And you can find it in our app, Kardec Radio's app, the Spiritist magazine's app, which are free of charge, and the opportunity of reading these unprecedented articles that were translated besides the original ones that were written by current articles, living ones. Today, we're going to revisit a topic that maybe many people don't want to talk about. It's our responsibility as spiritists. I know we want to talk about it. Maybe other people don't want to talk about it because there are people nowadays who reincarnated from those times when it was all about peace and love and freedom. I do whatever I like, the less laissez-faire type of mentality. In Spiritism, we don't go that route. As Andrea Lewis shares in the book Action and Reaction, chapter 2, order is the basis of charity. And without charity, Kardec says, there is no salvation, meaning we cannot be balanced if we're not truly charitable. So today I want to share a few slides with you that will help us study together. I'm not teaching, I'm just sharing, okay? I'm sharing. I'm not a teacher. I'm just sharing the studies of what we have been learning throughout these books. So here we have some thoughts and reflections according to the Spiritist books that we have to date. If we go back to the Gospel according to Spiritism, we hear a major chapter when Kardec quotes Jesus when he said, "If you love me, keep my commands, and I will pray to my Father, and he will send you another consoler, so that he may remain with you forever, the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it neither sees him nor knows him. But as for you, you will know him, because he will remain with you and will be among you. But the Consoler, who is the Holy Spirit, whom my Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will enable you to remember everything that I have said to you." This is in John chapter 14, verses 15 to 17 and 26. Why does this matter to you? We know that the Christ of the earth is a model for us, and he couldn't say everything, but kindly in his mercy and compassion, he said, "Don't worry, we'll send you more. When you're ready, you will recognize him, and it's going to be consoling." Why consolation is so important on earth? Well, if we don't know the answer, it's a sign we're in a super bubble. Because when we know the reality of people on earth, we understand why Jesus promised a consoler. Because our planet is full of afflictions. No wonder chapter 5 in the Gospel according to Spiritism is the longest. Blessed are the afflicted. If we're in a bubble, we think, what about this consolation? People are looking for phenomena. But when we really know our society nowadays on earth, even in California, Florida, Washington, D.C., anywhere, it's easy to find suffering and afflictions. And when we're in touch with them, we see that even science is having a hard time and struggling to provide hope and consolation. Spiritism comes as the consoler, especially when it says, Spiritists, instruct yourselves. Love one another and instruct yourselves. Without instruction, we cannot renew ourselves. We cannot be consoled. Think about this. When we talk about consolation, we're talking about hope. We're talking about this power of renewal. Like I was saying to my daughter, Virginia, the other day, I said, think about it, Virginia. We're children of God. We're not slaves of God. We're children of God. That's a big difference. And as children, we inherit the universe. And it means we're co-creators. It's such an honor for us, even though we may be going through difficulties, which are always passing. Even discarnation passes, and we have new moments, new reincarnations, new opportunities in the spiritual realm. It's so consoling. And this is not to numb, as Karl Marx used to say wrongly, that it numbs, religion numbs our reasoning. It's so wrong. Actually, when we truly understand our connection with God, it opens our reasoning, so much so that Kardec is the man who really was the only one who was able this far to connect our reasoning with our feeling without conflicts. We can think of science and of religion, and they get married quite well. There is no chance of divorce any longer. Till Kardec, science and religion were divorced. With Spiritism, they thought twice and got married again, because there's no reason for us to disconnect our reasoning from our feeling. Our beliefs will change. Actually, talking about beliefs, that's where we fall short. So we need to revisit our beliefs and to know where reasoning can shed light onto our beliefs to make us know instead of simply believing. I don't believe in spirits. I know they exist. I don't believe in God. I know God exists. I don't believe in reincarnation. I know reincarnation exists. And now we have lots of science fostering this, what scientists would call hypothesis. For us, they are certainties. In instruction, we will empower ourselves. We will even open our hearts to love more, to understand that maybe we are in different parts of this continent, but actually we are together in the same frequency, probably more often than with people who are living in the same city where we are. But where do we fall short in our decision making? Many people think it's at the time in which we make a decision. Scientists in 2013, they identified that our mistakes when we make a decision, it's not at the time of making a decision. It's actually, as they say, errors happen because we are unable to encode the sensory information that we receive. What does it have to do with us in Spiritism? Jesus and Spiritism came to redefine everything. Who we are, who other people are for us, our relationships, life. By encoding that information that we are receiving, we'll be able to make decisions more wisely. And that's why it's so important to study Spiritism. But not to study in order to overshadow people, to do what we used to do in the past, manipulating people. No, but to know of ourselves and to transform ourselves. Spiritism comes to empower us to the best of us, our best version, the divine in us. So, our mistakes in the past, in this life, in previous lives, they happened because the way we perceived ourselves in life were mistaken. When we are dishonest, when we steal, when we lie, when we slander, we're doing so because the way we're perceiving ourselves and people in the scenario is totally mistaken. Because the way we look, the day we look at people, as Jesus taught us, as brothers and sisters, really brothers and sisters before God, we're going to change everything. Imagine if I decide to stay at my house studying Spiritism and not making any effort to share it with anyone, thinking I'm entitled to knowing, but not necessarily to sharing. That selfishness is going to cost me a lot. Go to one of Andre Louis' books, and if I'm not mistaken, this book is either Workers of the Life Eternal or Between Heaven and Earth. It talks about Demas, the man who was a Spiritist. He was very devoted. He was a past giver. He went to mediumistic meetings. But at his house, he did not do much to shed that light to his family members. So Andre Louis then shows to us that at his discarnation, his family members are not helping in the process because they are totally unaware of what's happening. The good spirits have a hard time shielding him from the attachment of his family. And they mentioned he was a good spiritist, but he forgot to cultivate it into his family members. So first thing for us here, responsibility-wise, we're not going to preach to our family members, to our relatives, no. But we're going to share as much as we can, especially in our examples. Because when people look at us and they say, man, you have changed, you're different, then you start naturally having a space into people's lives. At some point, we're going to discarnate, and it would be useful to have our children, our loved ones, our friends know what we think about it, so they help at our discarnation as well. I've seen people calling me here at the Spiritist Society of Virginia, when we were at the Spiritist Society of Baltimore, doing fraternal counseling, and family members calling us. I remember this very case. This American friend, she died. And then a month later, her sister calls. She calls me and says, I don't know you, don't know me. I've never seen her. She said, but I have a problem. My sister wanted to be, at first she wanted to be cremated. But then she went to the center, your center, and you taught them that it's not ideal. And then she told me she thought otherwise, but her son didn't know of it, and he made sure she would be cremated. Now I'm concerned what's happening to her. You see the confusion? Because we think, oh, if I know, it suffices. If I know, it's going to impact you if you keep it only to yourself. And not only in this life, to immortality. And then I explained to her, as the spirit mentors were saying, look, don't be anguished. She went through what she needed to go through. Now she's in a spiritual hospital, being taken care of. When the time comes, you'll know more of her. Right now, stay at peace, because it's not your fault. So I'm just giving examples on how we make decisions based on mistaken interpretation of life. And then the consequences will come at decision-making and past the decision-making moment. If we want to reverse it, we need to encode the information we receive through a new filter, the Spiritist filter, to make it easier for us. This week alone, some people called us talking about inheritance. Problems, people in their 70s. It was such a coincidence that people in different countries, different places were calling us about the same issue. And I remember a text by Humberto de Campos, the author of the book Good News, given through Chico Xavier, a message titled Training for Death. It's published in the Spiritist magazine. We have this program already several times done at Kardec Radio in SoundCloud, YouTube, going through the topics of this message. And in this message, I refer to these people who were familiar with Spiritism. And they say, this is the sentence, and I'll read it to you because I cannot make justice to this beautiful paragraph. Training for Death, Humberto de Campos says, if you possess any money or you have any terrestrial possession, asset, do not postpone your donation if you're really inclined to make them. Great men and women whom we admired on earth for their skills and power regarding great businesses, they show up before us here in the afterlife, in many occasions, like desperate children who can no longer manipulate their bank accounts or manage their bank accounts. Just there, Humberto de Campos is going to make us avoid a big mistake. Many people, they say, I'm going to donate when I die. Donate now, like Chico Xavier did. Like Divaldo Franco, everything is already set. The day he passes, people are not going to pull and push, oh, this was mine. No, Divaldo wanted it to be mine. Make sure that if you have anything, you already assign it. Because I've seen several families going to deep discord about assets, and the people who are in the afterlife suffering because of it, due to a mistake in the encoding. It's mine, I keep it until the last minute. This is selfishness. If you don't need it, it's in the savings account, give it away. Give to the people that need, whether in your family, outside of your family, the universal family. Don't wait, because this is going to create a lot of stress for us in the afterlife. And that's why I ask your permission to share something that is not yet translated into English, but is already translated by our team. And it's in a book that was, that came to life when Chico Xavier was very young, very, very young. Can you see my slides at all? Oh, I guess you can't. Not
We are seeing, just you're not sharing. Yeah, they are not moving.
sorry. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay.
Let me try again and see. See if now. Okay, you can see the screen, the slide.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then if you go to a slide, if you go to a slideshow, and then they will change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am at slideshow, but I'll try again, okay? Let me try. I'm getting off and on again. Then you let me know. I changed a few slides. You can see the Promise Consoler now? Yeah? Can see the text? Great.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
instruction now, decision
Yeah.
making.
Better,
No.
thank you.
No, it's not moving forward. It's stuck at Promise Consoler.
Oh, I wonder why. Okay. Okay, begin again. Let me see why. Why is this happening, huh?
Just
Okay.
sorry to interrupt that.
No, thank you. Okay, so let's, okay, instead of going here, I'm going to, okay, hold on. Okay. No, I don't want to do this. I want to go straight here. You can see the cover, right? Spiritist responsibility.
Yes.
Now, can you see Promise Consoler?
No.
In the-
No.
Yeah. Okay.
That was,
We have to figure out a way. Okay, I'm gonna do the following.
there may be a delay in the sequence of slides before the next one displays. So give it a few seconds.
Few seconds, right? Let me just, I'm gonna close and open again here on my end. Okay, hold on, friends. Trying again. Sharing the screen. Okay. You can see Spiritist responsibility.
Yes.
Now Promise Consoler.
Now give it a second.
No.
No.
Rotating.
Um,
Try the next one.
yeah, I'm changing here, but you're not seeing the shift, right? I wonder why. Okay, you can see changing screen. Okay, so let me do this. What if I forward my slides to somebody there who can do it on your end?
Oh, you can forward to me, Tanya@TanyaStewart.com.
Okay. So let's do this, okay?
Okay.
Tanya. Tanya?
@TanyaStewart.com.
Is Tanya a co-host?
No, but I can do it. We can share a screen.
Okay, so see if you got it, Tanya. Tanya@TanyaStewart.com, right?
Tanya, you're muted now.
Okay, I'm just trying again just to see if. No, nothing's changing. Yeah, I don't know why. That's very funny.
That's weird. Just before you end your share,
Yeah.
the slide you were trying to display, there's a momentary display.
Tanya, did you get the email? Okay, great. I'll try again, Mark.
Oh,
Can you
there we
s-
have it. That's the formation of Christ
Yeah.
consciousness.
Can you see now that I am bringing more information?
Now
Yeah.
try to go to the next slide.
Yeah. No? Yeah.
Is it delay? Let's see.
Okay, I'll let Tanya do it then. It's okay, we're gonna make it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a major thing. I'm gonna share with you a Menius strategy. It's a plan of the governance of the earth. It's major. It's unbelievable.
It's just I saved and I'll find where I save in my desktop. So patient people.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm gonna share the information. so
Is
we're-
there, let me do now, just try it again.
Sure.
So
Can you rotate to the next slide?
So is that, né?
Good.
Every-
Yeah.
Everybody seeing?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So where did you stop? What
Yeah, you
what
can go.
slide?
You know, this is the slide where we were talking about the study in 2013 on the errors where we make them, not at the decision making, but how we process the information we're perceiving. So if we go to the next slide, please, Tanya.
Oh my God. What happened there?
Yeah, if you go with the arrow to, yeah, yes. You can keep on pushing the information. Yeah, in 19, look at the date. She's gonna, yeah, there's an animation so you can keep pushing forward.
Oh,
Yeah, just with the arrow
yeah,
in the keyboard. It's not coming?
it's not. Something happened. Yeah, it's not going. Stop sharing again. Maybe the way you,
No, I've done this presentation in many places already using Zoom.
so this
If
is.
you click like enable editing
Yeah, that I'm
Yeah.
doing.
on the top.
Yeah. Is it
Enable
is this
editing.
one?
Yes, yes. If you want to stay there, that's okay.
Okay.
You don't need to go to the full view. We can stay there. So in 1937, Emmanuel wrote through Chico Xavier in a book named Emmanuel that is not yet translated into English. A chapter 35, about the formation of the Christ conscious mindset. He talks about the plans of on high. I know we are living at a society. It's so fascinating. We are in a Christ conscious country, pretty much the United States is. And yet, many people who are not in the Christian churches, who get into spirituality, spiritism, spiritualism, they are like, oh, please don't talk about Jesus. Say, but the Jesus we're talking about is not the one that persecuted you when you were a little kid and your parents harassed you, or your community talking about you accept Jesus or you won't be saved. No, that's not the Jesus we're talking about. The Jesus we're talking about is loving, kind, caring, all embracing. He doesn't impose himself, but he is the real deal. He is the model of humanity. He is really our goal. He's the guide. He's the model. He's the governor of the earth. And he has a plan that is divine. And says Emmanuel, through the hands of Chico Xavier, that the educational activities of the present and the future will have to be characterized by its Christ conscious mindset if they want to cooperate with the grand building of progress, human progress. So if you and I want to be in the direction of humanity's progress, Christ consciousness is certainly, it has the outline for it. I know some people come to me and say, Vanessa, I don't want to be restricted to Spiritism. I want to be universal. And I say to these people, look, you need to read more about Spiritism because Spiritism is universal. It's so universal that Kardec in 1864 wrote at the introduction of the Gospel according to Spiritism, the universality of the Spiritist teachings. So when people say, I want to reach more people without a label, say, so you don't know what you're talking about. Because people like Chico Xavier never gave up. And you can't top Chico Xavier because he is really, in a Spiritist sense, he's ahead of us by thousands of lives. And he never gave up that. He actually is daily reaching to more and more people, though he's not incarnated any longer. Divaldo Franco also, as universal as his message is, he kept himself true to the Spiritist teaching and to a Spiritist team. So this is a parenthesis again that we want to open for those who feel like they belong to this group and that group and the other group, any group and every group, but no actual group. No, you can help in the sense of your prayers to any group, but we need to affiliate to one group, okay? One group. Jesus was humble. He kept himself true to one group, to the group of disciples, attending to everybody. But he was true to his group, the master, the model. So who are we to say, I belong to this group, that group, and the other group? That doesn't exist. For people who are the real deal, like Chico Xavier, Jesus, Chico Xavier, Divaldo Franco, even Dalai Lama, Thich Nhat Hanh, who discarnated recently, they kept themselves true to that group, to that community. And that's the root we're going to get. And then by forming that humble Christ consciousness, we'll be able to help more. Now, this was 1937 when Chico Xavier was only 27 years of age. And this is one of the most profound books that Emmanuel wrote. Let's go to the next slide, please, so we can talk about the strategy. You know, Jesus has a good strategy, and Emmanuel says, for now, our whole work aims at the formation of the Christ conscious mindset or mentality by excellence. So the first step is to create purified minds free from precepts and prejudices that prevent the march of humanity. As these currents of enlightened thinkers of the gospel are formed, we'll then dedicate to the works in themselves. So the first step is to create the understanding. And that's why we translated the book in our team, the book Good News. And the book that talks about more of Jesus in a compilation that we did at Kardec Radio, 40 Nights with the Promised Consoler, where there are 40 more chapters besides the 30 chapters in the book Good News, 40 more where Jesus outlines this Christ consciousness for us. Here, it's a mind out of prejudices. So we need to seek in ourselves where we're not being all-embracing. And not all embracing in the sense of what people are saying in our society, this chaos, like anything and everything. We're talking about treating people as children of God. No matter if they're in the body of a man and women, transgender, homosexual, heterosexual, and whatever they say, non-binary, whatever names people create, we treat people as children of God. Then there are no prejudices because it doesn't matter if they are rich or poor, beautiful or ugly. Forgive me for saying this because it's just a matter of opinion. And no matter if they are socially influential or not, because at the end of the day, we're all influencers in some way and form, but we need to purify our minds. And then the second step of this strategy on earth is, the next slide, please. And this was written, the slide before that one. Yes, it's the second step strategy. He says in 1937, to create educational newspapers, radio stations, study centers, clubs of the gospel thinking, assemblies of the word, the movie that teaches and moralizes, all based in the Christ conscious sentiment. They are no utopia of our hearts. Imagine, Chico Xavier was only 27 years of age. He only had the 4th grade. People who were reading this probably were laughing and saying, he's crazy. What educational newspapers? To date, it's hard to have an educational newspaper nowadays. right? We have this beautiful Good News Network and others that are creating a new way of sharing good news. Radio stations back then and other things, they were not doing these things. Now we have cardiac radio. But it was a vision way back when. Study centers like ours right now at this moment. People who want to get together to study more about the good news. People who want to watch movies that are more educational. Now we have it. It took a century. You see how visionary these books are. This is no utopia, and he's right. Almost a century later, we are already there. All in this Christ conscious mentality, sentiment, and mindset. What is going to be the result? Next slide. The result of this strategy will lead us into the next slide. Thank you, Tanya. When Emmanuel explains that the whole task at present is to form the true Christ conscious spirit. Once that work is completed, individuals will have reached the bright day of universal peace and harmony of all hearts. So we can't escape that. When people say, I don't want to talk about Jesus, okay, then go on and on and on and on. In Spiritism, there is no Spiritism without Jesus Christ. Not the Jesus that we learn elsewhere, the Jesus we learn here. And it's not imposed. It's the loving master, the healer, the physician of all souls, the loving teacher, etc., 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 the divine instrument. That's the only way. We can't escape it. So my question here to all of us is this. Why are we resisting? What do we need to make peace inside of us? To really surrender to these Christ conscious guidelines that are leading us to a new way of feeling, of being, of happiness. To continue further, Emmanuel in another book, please, the next slide. In this book, we started studying at the morning prayers 2 days ago. So we're going to reach, we have the book already translated by Cardiac Radio's team. In one of the messages, chapter 15, he says to us that when we Spiritists understand that education and rehabilitation will be the synthesis of all work dedicated to improving the world. Then, he says, fabulous sums, he says to us in the next slide. Fabulous sums are spent on wars. And you know, this book was written in 1964. But let us spend money by giving free care to others who need to pacify their war-torn reasoning. We're talking about mental health. How many people I've seen coming to the Spiritist Society of Baltimore, to the Spiritist Society of Virginia, they came right out of the Spiritist hospital, the psychiatric hospitals. They sat down, received the passes, they went home and they were feeling different. Free care. With the fraternal assistance. People don't know what to think. And then we come and give them a hand. When we don't know, and then we also receive the fraternal assistance. And people help us think more clearly. Reason all that we're perceiving in a different way. Giving room for peace. Getting out of torments. You know, I want to share this with you. There is a pathway, and the pathway is to leave our torments, When we meet the light of the truth, we enter a zone of conflict, inner conflicts. And to go from inner conflict to the next state, which is really freedom, we need a decision. That's why we're giving so much importance to decision making. We need to redefine all the scenario. The day we stop saying, I don't do this because of my husband, my wife, my daughter, my son, because of American society that doesn't understand. The day we stop that discourse, and I say it's because of me, because of my inner limitations that I'm not doing this, that, and the other, then I will change my life. And Spiritism can help. The next slide, Emmanuel is going to bring us further clarification. He says, in our society, we are shocked with the juvenile maladjustment, which leads into great tragedies, but we should provide to the child the needed development with security for her spirit. For example, today, our children and teens at the Spiritist side of Virginia, they were learning about mental connections. They were learning about how their thinking process creates mental images, almost like a photo book, like a scrapbook. And then this makes associations with other minds, and that association is going to create either health or disease of the mind and the bodies. By teaching kids and teens that, we will prevent lots of maladjustments. But are we doing this? No. We need to think. Emmanuel goes further and talks about the strategy of the Christ in the next slide, in which we move lots of funds for psychiatric hospitals, but we should make efforts to read our vices in our thoughts to avoid being candidates to obsession. That's why lately at the Spiritist Society of Virginia, we have been giving a series of talks on obsession, self-obsession, mutual obsession, all different types, based on André Louis' books, Kardec's books, and the book by Dr. Marlene Nobre, Obsession and Its Masks, to see how we can help one another avoid entering self-obsession that leads to obsession. When we use a lot of masks, playing games with people, and at the end of the day, we're truly obsessed. Spiritism can help in that regard. And then in the next slide, we cry out against the excesses of many people, but we're often those who claim for rights and privileges with absolute forgetfulness of our duties in life. So we say, oh my gosh, those people, look at those people, they have the most expensive personal airplane or yacht, but then when it comes to us, we're not happy with our home, with our body, with our things in the fridge, because we want always something else. Whereas there are people in this world that are depending on us, sometimes even to have a meal on their table. And if we're far away from the people who are in need, it's a sign of our selfishness too, our duties in life. We need to be like Chico Xavier, constantly in touch with the needs of people, not far away in Brazil or in Africa, right here and now, where we are in our cities, finding the very people who are in the greatest needs, hidden in shelters, in nursing homes, in prisons, so we can be in close contact with their sufferings and thus be fully aware of the reality of life. Every time Chico Xavier was writing all his books, imagine you, If you were writing all these phenomenal books, maybe we wouldn't go back to a Spiritist center anymore. We would do it all at home. Maybe we wouldn't meet the people in need, thinking that our books are so great, they are already helping many people. No, Emmanuel daily touched Chico's shoulder and said, stand up, stop it, go help the people who are in the street, they don't have bread. Forget about this. Daily, he was in touch with the sufferings of people in whatever situation they were. Where are we in that regard? Being Spiritists, fancy Spiritists, right? In Portuguese, we say espírita de gabinete, meaning Spiritists, they're theoretical. We study, we are online, we go to our centers, and then we spend the rest of our days thinking about our luxuries, and we don't care about people's needs. We're not going to go far. And I'm not saying this to you, I'm saying this to myself and to all of us. We need to get out of this bubble, to this bubble of phenomenology, like healing. The healing is within and it's personal. It's not a mass. It's not going to happen in the masses. It has to be from within and to come from a heart that really is devoted to the needs of people. We're not talking about material needs, we're talking about emotional needs. This is our duty. And he ends this by saying in this book of hope, Livro da Esperança, let us combat cancer, polio, ulcers. This was 1964 when he wrote it. And this is the Spiritist direction, whether we like it or not. He says, but let us also, in the next slide, extinguish abortion. I know we're in a country and at a time in the world where people are proclaiming women's rights. I, as a woman, I know I'm free. I'm free. I can do whatever I like with my body. Of course, nobody's going to deny that to me. But that freedom may cost a price, because killing a defenseless life is a crime. I'm sorry, but that's a reality. Defenseless life. It's the most heinous crime. If our mothers had decided to commit abortion, we wouldn't be here today. So it's nonsensical when people ask for the right to kill. And we Spiritists are shedding light on the mechanism. That body is connected to a spirit. Go to the book Action and Reaction. There is a whole chapter describing the drama of an abortion and how it feels for the spirit who is being aborted. What if it were one of us? And in the name of a nonsensical freedom, we're asking for the right to kill. Because we don't know what we're doing, as Jesus said, but Spiritism explains. That's why he's saying that we Spiritists are here to help shed light and extinguish abortion, extinguish drug addiction, laziness. When a Sunday comes and people are like, I just want to be here on my couch doing nothing. Yeah, while people have nothing, you are there doing nothing. Intemperance, when we feel like easy to be angry, easy to be intolerant, easy to be impatient. Let us temper those emotions that will lead us to crimes and illnesses. And that's why we finalize this conversation by reminding us that the Spirit of Truth came through the mediums at Kardec's time to remind us that in our instruction as Spiritists, we can fulfill our responsibilities, and especially at a current time in which more than ever, people need to understand why they are living and what to do in life. We Spiritists have a lot to share with them, not necessarily with words, but in the way we do things, in our children's schools. When parents come to me and say, "You're always here, you're always chaperoning, you're always helping," I say, yes, my child is a priority for me. My child is not to be taken care of by somebody else. I'm here to share, and I'm there. Also, I don't say I'm a spiritist. I don't need to talk about anything, but we need to be there at work, in our communities, in our shelters nearby, to feel like I like this Thich Nhat Hanh's. I'm forever grateful to his books, and especially when he talked about us looking at nature and feeling ourselves strong, when he said, look at a tree. It's deeply rooted in the soil. And a beautiful tree, a fruitful one, has beautiful, strong roots. For us to be spiritists, strongly doing what we need to do, we need deep roots in our neighborhoods, in our cities, in our states, in our countries. By being connected online only, we cannot go far, friends. And I dare to say this because as a medium, I see the difference of being in person and online. So wherever you are, fruitify, bloom, blossom, cherish your divine where you are. Be connected like we are, but bloom where you are. I want to stop here since we spend so much time going back and forth in the slides, thanking Tanya for helping me here as well, and opening for any question or comment if that's appropriate to you.
So wow, Vanessa, thanks so very much we need this, we need this. And we need this reminder, I think, every day. And putting that like a note in our head, in the wherever you go the most, your office, your bedroom, your closet, we need to make a note there to instruct ourselves as a spiritist. I always said that we need to make a decision where the path you are walking with, who you are walking, and what you're doing in this path. Are you serving? Are you learning? And are you progressing? So yesterday, Greg and I saw the Chris Rock, a comedian who was in Baltimore. He was on Netflix. And I love the way he make a joke about abortion, because he said, who cares who does that? He make a lot of comment about that, but after that, he said, let me kill you, you're 4 years old. Imagine that, you're 4 years old to be killed. And why is different from those who are in the victor, in the uterus? Why you are doing this? No, let's just kill the 4 years old. Think of, and I said, Greg, well, why he was to say that? Because we need to think about a crime is a crime, no? Not punishing, not judging, but we need to really accept the situation that we are spiritual beings coming to earth in this amazing school, this amazing hospital, that we are here to grow, to get better than we came back. That is my goal, to go back better than I came in. And that is my concerned with myself right now. I was diagnosed with cancer recently, and I said, God, give me more opportunity because I have a lot of defects to be correct. And this shock to you, when you have this in yourself, is totally different than you talk to other people who have it. And every person passed for the differential view. And for me right now, my lesson is how Tanya is doing with Tanya. Is Tanya ready to go to the spiritual world right now for more that I would love to, but I'm not ready. It's a lot of things that I can do to get better. So it is important for us to make the decision, as you lovely brought to us, what I'm doing. Am I a spiritist? I'm a student of spiritism. What I'm doing for spiritism to grow, not just within me, to grow my soul, but about my children, about my husband, about my family, and the society. I always use the driving. It's the best example for me. When you know how to drive and you have compassion, patience, and then you're getting better. But if the opposite, you still a lot to work. That's what I do myself. Thanks so very much, your sister. Thanks so very much.
You know, Vanessa, many people do not realize that they actually requested to come here and work. And on the side of the abortion thing, which is one of the things that I feel deserves a lot more attention than just women's rights, is for those who go through with the pregnancy and they still don't have the love for the child that they brought. What to do with them? We need a better place for these children to grow in. We need people who love being workers of God, like nurses and the aides and stuff, that really love this job that they do to help these children develop a strong mind, you know? And so it's not just stop at no abortion. It goes further than that. What to do next? What to do next? How to get them educated? How to keep them strong-minded with loving who they are and not being stuck on why my mama didn't love me, why my daddy didn't want me, because that is destroying a whole lot of minds. A lot of minds are destroyed by that. And it's unfortunate because, I mean, even as adults, they cannot let go of that very point, you know? But anyway, that was my thing.
No,
And I think
I agree with you, Regina. I want to reinforce what you're saying. Here at the Spirit side of Virginia, when I became pregnant of Virginia, when I found out, first thing Mentor Joseph said, whatever you give to Virginia, remember of the other kids. So then we found this organization that is throughout the US, Birthright. They give support to women who decide to keep their babies but do not have the means to do so. They help in material, psychological ways to support. And we've been doing this for 10 years now. And I agree with you. It's not only that, but I agree with you that we need to give support to parents. And that's why we created the Spiritist Parenting app. It's an app that we launched during the pandemic. It took us a whole lot of work. It's an effort that I started in 2015, helping one parent at a time with spiritual counseling, spiritual support, psychological support, and then became an app, which is free of charge, Spiritist Parenting. It's totally sponsored by the Spiritist side of Virginia, where we give not only information, but we also give one-on-one support to parents who are just, you know, they just became parents or they are parents of teens, etc. Of course, it's one by one, but at least it's there. You know, it's another app that we created, and it's 100% supported by the Spiritist Society of Virginia. It's a way Spiritism can help. And I can't help to, be enchanted by this beautiful baby here. Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. What a beautiful boy. My goodness. Hi.
He's our grandson, our nephew. He's so
Oh
amazing.
my.
Yeah.
So cute. All right.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah, because, we're in it together. No matter rich, poor, in the ditch, in the grave, doesn't matter. We're in it together. No matter what. And we have to work through it.
Vanessa, good comment. Thank you very much for the the concept of being in a bubble. And that's not okay, because it's very convenient to be in a bubble and be busy with something which allows poor performance of what we know we should do. And I think also I've found myself looking at people that would be in need, saying, "Oh, they're in a bubble, so I don't want to disturb them." Oh, not good, not good. That's my tools I add to my war chest from what you've said today. Many beautiful things, but that's one I'll put it to work. Thank you.
Thank you for this reminder. Thank you.
So if anyone have any other comments or question for dear Vanessa, take advantage of the time because she's very busy. So we are so thankful, Vanessa, for your amazing time, your amazing teachings of love, because what we felt here today, we felt your dedication, we felt your love, and we really, it really put our minds to think more deeply there how kind of a spiritual man I am now. What can I do for being better, to assume my responsibility? Because spiritualism is not a mission for all out the world before, have to be inside. Because we have to be a better citizenship. We have to be a better son, a better daughter of God. When we leave this light inside of us, so let the light shine. So that is why you sent to us today. You reflect the God's Son inside of you, the lights of God's inside of you. Thank you so very much for one more opportunity that you haven't shared with us. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. So friends, we are moving forward for our second part, that is the healing part. And we are showing Ian. How are you doing, my beloved brother? Where is my beloved brother there? É o netinho da vovó torta. É, neto da vovó torta. I love your head. Look at you. You're so handsome. I love your style. Really love it. Yeah, I love it. Wow. How handsome. Yeah. Grandma understands everything. No? Yeah. And he speaks Japanese, Spanish, and English. Isn't it, Ian? Will be a tri-language. Tudo bien? Tudo bien?
Look at this.
Thank you, Dri. Yeah, thank you, Dri, for our host today to be this amazing Boy, love you, yeah, so much. Grandma Torta loves you.
Tchau, tchau.
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 Beijo.
Beijo.
Beijos.
Besito.
Oh yeah, I forgot Portuguese too. So it's a four language. Oh my gosh, Dri, you are in trouble.
Work in progress.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have 2 minutes break before we go to the second part of the service as the healing paths. So don't forget, beloved brothers and sisters who are in need of assistance. Every Monday, the BS8 group meeting to do a specific spiritual healing. Like we take the names, if you wanna someone or yourself, put your name on the chat and we will take a note and we go for 4 weeks with spiritual prayers every day for you, for your family, for those who are in need that will be sending to us. So have grab a bottle of water. I have a water for my whole
Day.
days, no? and take a time for writing the names, and in 2 minutes we'll be coming back. Thank you so